Well, hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Jay here. Today we're going to do some limbing and bucking, and I am going to show you sorry, there a bunch of birds just flew out of here. Anyways, I'm going to show you a couple of tips, tricks, what I do to make life easier. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, for those of you who are maybe just joining us, we are doing a project called Project Sunlight, and conveniently, would you look at that, the sun is shining through right now. But anyways, we have a half dozen maples that we need to limb and we need to process up for firewood. Now, we are going to be cutting logs for outdoor boiler, so we're cutting anywhere from 24 inches, ones that need to be split, all the way up to probably 32. Those are generally, and I touched on this last video, generally the two lengths of firewood I like. So without further ado, the point of today's video is just to process firewood a little bit more efficiently, and we're going to get into that right now. So first thing, when you're limbing, yes, you can do everything with one saw, but if you generally have a lighter saw, smaller bar, lighter saw, that's really good to limb with. So let's hop in the shed and show you what I use. All right, so first tip, get yourself a small top handle saw. See, I use the Eager Beaver by McCulloch, or I use my Husqvarna 240. These are both smaller saws, top handle for the most part, that are small enough, easy to limb. Now for the big wood, for bucking the logs, we run the Echo CS590, which is ready to go. And we also run our Husqvarna 257 with the really long bar. Now, again, I broke the pull cord rope again, so that saw is kind of out of commission, but let me bring this over and I will show you what I would normally do. All right, folks, so this is my Husqvarna 257. It has a 32-inch bar on it. Now, Jay, I know what you're thinking right now in the comments. That's a huge bar for that saw. Well, I'm not cutting down a 32-inch tree. There's a misconception between long bars and what you're actually cutting. This maple is probably 6-7 inches up here, probably 12 at the base. That's plenty fine for this size bar. I'm not running 32-inch logs with this. So the reason why I like the long bar is when I'm bucking, look at the tip of that bar. There's no bending over. I can pretty much cut right into the bottom of that, and that's how I calculated. If you get in basically a fighting stance and I hold this bar, the tip down, it's about a couple inches off the ground. Versus if you had a smaller bar, you'd be doing this, bending over, which you don't need to do. Firewood's a lot of work, so to make it a little bit more efficient, run a longer bar. That is my second tip. First tip is use a small saw. If you have the resources to buy a second saw, use a small saw to limb the trees, and then get a bigger CC saw with a longer bar for bucking. And I'm going to show you guys after I talk, but those are my first two tricks. So without further ado, we're going to roll a little time lapse of me processing this. We're going to overlay some music, what have you. But if you decide to leave this video now, thank you for watching. If you decide to hang around, I appreciate that as well. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. This was, if you guys don't know, this is an Eager Beaver 2.1 McCulloch that my dad gave me. He bought it new in 90, I think 94, brand new. Original motor, nothing. He gave it to me. Heirloom saw. It's not a muscle saw, but I love that thing. So let's go clean up. All right, let's have a peek, everybody. So we got everything limbed. Let's see if we can get all this brush out of here into a pile over there. If you watched the last video, I gave you a little tip with a ratchet strap, but I'll show it again if you didn't catch it, but it's easier to deal with brush. So let's go ahead and drag all this over, and we'll turn you guys on when we're ready to buck up these logs. We'll get the big saw and off we go. Now that is a pile of brush. Like I showed you in the last video, we have the ratchet strap right there. We can throw that around, maybe get a second one if we need it, tighten it down. Then we can skid it and drag it wherever we want. But let's have a look, huh? Now we can actually see the trees when we go to buck them up right now. So we got all the limbs out of here. This is how you efficiently work. Drop a tree, you limb it, get the limbs out of your way. Now it's smooth sailing to buck this all up into firewood. It's going right on this rack here. So without further ado, let's roll. Now we're gonna get the big saws in a second, but since we still have the the Eager Beaver out, we can cut most of these limbs with this Eager Beaver. Why not? We already have it out here, it's already warmed up. So let's cut all the way back to a certain point, and then we will get the bigger saw. folks. We got that all bucked up. Pretty much 90% of it is all bucked up. Let me show you here. Sorry, it's a little windy. So we got all this bucked up. This log here, all cut at about 32 inch sections. Again, that's perfect for our outdoor boiler over there. Got some big beefy ones over there. Those are, I call them overnighters. Those are the ones that'll burn pretty much 24 hours straight, if not longer. So yeah, nice load of maple. Still got some limbs in there we got to deal with. We got limbs on the back side, but for the most part, this area is all clean. So anyways, let's wrap up. Let me fix the camera. Sorry. What I said in the beginning, 3 chainsaws, a falling saw, a bucking saw, and a limbing saw, if you can afford it. I like the light limbing saw, as you saw, the little McCulloch there for limbing. I love the 257 Husky with the 32-inch bar. I bucked up all of this with that. I can't say enough about a long bar. Hopefully it's not too windy. And then, like I said, I use the CS 490 and 590 to fall the trees because that's what I'm most comfortable with. Chainsaw falling, I look at it like shooting. If my goal is to hit a target, I'd rather take a gun that I can hit a target with. I wouldn't take a 45 to go plinking with, you know what I mean, for lack of better examples. So yeah, just a little mixed bag video here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stack all that wood in that firewood rack, but I think we're gonna get the Kubota and kind of push all the rounds over just to save some time, energy, and effort. So yeah, without further ado, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully the wind's not too bad. Brandon Boats, thank you, buddy. I was running one of your chains on my McCulloch, so I appreciate that, buddy. I know I said that in the beginning. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it's not too windy. And like I always say, we will see you out in the woods.